You're going to circulate.
Video.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Great turnout, eh?
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, a lot of hope here tonight. A lot of happy people.
Yeah.
Get the picture.
Video.
Hi. Is it like are you making a documentary?
It's video. No.
Oh.
Just shooting a little footage of tonight. Will you be able to hear back here?
Hello. Scallywags, as they're called in the endearing sense, to show what it would look like. I had a chance to have a look at that. Somebody photoshopped the whole, they took the white lines and then photoshopped the black.
Go in front of the fire.
You see the rest of the city get involved in as well. The recent bike lane controversy was a good one. Most of the heat that generated came from people who lived outside the neighborhood, for whom Kitts Park and Hadden Parks are their backyards. That was a tremendous effort. We got a lot of people from outside and inside the neighborhood involved in that, and it just demonstrates the feelings that we have towards our parks. Prior to that, we fought battles over commercialization, over the introduction of a commercial marina. Long ago, there was the introduction of a building housing a museum.
I really got involved when Vision Vancouver was going to close the Bloedel Conservatory. My father worked for the park board for 42 years. I grew up around parks, and I was just shocked by that a green mayor would close a greenhouse at the center of Vancouver. So I got involved, we were able to push that back, and I started to go to park board meetings. And what I saw really, really concerned me. I'm known in the neighborhood here because really I was the first one to come out and bring the media attention to the paving of Hadden Park and Kitts Park. Subsequently, we had a large rally on the beach with Commissioner Loke came down, and he said at that time he was listening, and subsequently we had a meeting that we called at the park board meeting, and Trevor, Loke and the Vision people didn't show up. They kept everybody waiting, and that's their style of listening. So I think that tonight I really want to, I don't want to be the angry guy, I tell you what I want to do. I want you to meet our fantastic NPA park board team. So I'm gonna do my opening remarks, and then I'm doing closing remarks. I'm gonna let them answer the questions because I want you to see the caliber and the quality of the NPA team led by Kirk LaPointe, who's running for mayor.
I'm originally from Montreal, raised in France. I moved to France when I was 1 year old. I've been back in Vancouver for now 23 years, and I work in the tourism industry. I currently work in a 5-star hotel in the downtown area, and I worked in the Pan Pacific for 13 years and the Four Seasons for about 5. I'm currently a board member of the BC Cancer Inspection Gala, and we actually raised $5 million on Saturday night for the cancer research. And I've decided to run into politics because I believe that tourism and parks are really related. And I've been attending many park board meeting in the past year and a half at the park board office, and I was not really happy with the outcome of what was happening. So I've decided to step in, and I believe as a citizen it's important, and I look forward to hearing from you tonight as well. Thank you.
I am second generation Canadian born Chinese. I have a degree in forest genetics, so that's my background in parks and indigenous species. That was from UBC. I also work with special ed children, so I understand what it's like having children with special ed and also working with them and understanding what they want and need. And 5 years ago I opened a small business in Kerrisdale, and that is where I get to hear a lot of what the citizens want and what the community wants. And this is why I'm running. I'm running because I want to ensure our parks are protected and we can maintain the parks. Second of all, I want to ensure we build a senior center in Killarney. We have land and we have money promised from province and federal. So I want to ensure we build that senior center. And lastly, I want to rebuild those severed relationships that's been currently happening in our community center associations. Let's mend those relationships, reconnect, rebuild, and collaborate together. And let's make Vancouver fun again.
Over a number of years where we struggled with fields. We had increasing, we had user fees applied and increasing user fees that we didn't see any action or any results from those user fees. At Vancouver United, we now have to send, we have 3,700 kids and we have to send them to UBC, and we pay for facilities out there because there's enough in the city for us to work with. In Little Mountain Baseball, we had 750 kids. We had to turn kids away this year from baseball because there's not the field space for them to play. There's fields out there that the condition is just too poor and not safe to play, so we couldn't use them. They exist, the space is there, but just the upkeep hasn't been there. So I'm running to try and improve that situation, bring more kids across the city into active sport and play.
And I'll tell you a little bit of background about myself. My background's in the tourism industry. I've held positions with Tourism Vancouver as the Director of Marketing, Vice President of the Vancouver Aquarium. And the reason I'm telling you that is that I have a track record in working in partnership. I've worked with a lot of community groups and associations, whether it was arts and culture, festivals, and other small business throughout the city. So I think I've tried to spend my career contributing to the fabric of the city, whether it was launching things like the Dine Out Vancouver Restaurant Festival, supporting arts and culture through the Tickets Tonight service, chairing the list that we have, and we continue to grow it as we grow density in our city. Thank you.
I'm also trained to solve problems. I'm trained to innovate. My day job, I work in green buildings, so I'll help look at different technologies, different products, different ways so we can actually help develop more green, sustainable solutions in Vancouver. So I look forward to listening to all your issues and concerns.
I come from a background in community organizing and predominantly within recreational sport, and so I run a community dodgeball league as well as I co-chair a society called Out in Sports, and we run sports leagues within our city that strive to create safe and accessible recreational opportunities for people who face barriers. And through this experience I've learned a lot around what it takes to get involved in healthy living, healthy lifestyle, and how to get involved in our programs within our Parks and Rec. And I really want to bring this experience to the table. I want to work with community members to ensure that we have community-driven and led initiatives. And my background in ecological restoration, I bring a lot of experience around how we can engage people with their environments and how we can ensure that youth and adults alike have learning opportunities to be surrounded by their environment, whether that's through stream restoration and working with our First Nations communities to ensure that our city continues to stay green, sustainable, and healthy.
Community boards, including a couple of residents associations. For the last 6 years, I've been a member of the Vancouver Public Library Board and chair for 3 of them. In my work life, I've been a legislative researcher, a policy advisor to provincial government, and also a lawyer. And I've owned a business that has provided work in the fields of policy, communications, and strategic planning.
And I also own a small business. I'm a hockey player, which was my first connection to the Vancouver Park Board, and it was my leadership in community hockey that got me first involved to run. Tonight I want to listen to you, what your concerns are. I want to have a conversation and dialogue about the important issues that are here in Kitts Point's Residents Association, although I do know that there's a lot of people from across the city who want to discuss citywide issues, which I'm happy to hear about as well. So thank you everyone for coming here tonight.
We represented British Columbia, Canada, at Nationals, at Olympic Games, and I'm very proud of that, and getting involved because of what's been going on in the community, and at some point, you know, you have to. So, and with these kids paying all these fees to play soccer and rugby, you know, and ice hockey, whereas these didn't exist before. But the bureaucracy's gone up 8 times. Why, I'm not sure, because we haven't had 8 times more parks, that's for sure. So, but again, I just want to get it back to where it should be and try and correct this issue. And I'm running with one of the most knowledgeable people probably up here as well, Massimo. So,
my name is Massimo Rossetti. I'm running for Vancouver First for Parks Commissioner. I've been volunteering for about 25 years now. I started out as just a volunteer, and then I became president of Thunderbird. Went on to do a capital plan there. Was asked to join Champlain Heights to do a capital plan there. Later was asked to go to Hastings to do a capital plan there, and it was unsuccessful because of global economic situations. During the time, I've been on a JOA task force in 2001, a follow-up JOA task force, joint operating agreement task force in 2005. I've been evicted out of my community center a year and a half ago as president of Hastings. Been fighting the eviction against the Parks Board, and so here I am today, trying to make a change for it. You know, I don't think we should have been evicted, and I don't think we're bad people, but that's what it is.
Anyway, I'm from Vancouver. I live in Kitsilano. I'm a theater and music producer. I've never been involved in politics until I saw what was happening at our own Kitts Beach, starting with the watermark, then boathouse going up, this massive structure, followed by a bit later the Cactus Club at English Bay blocking our view. Started causing me concerns about what might happen going along the line, Jericho, Locarno, Spanish Banks. Is this what we're in for? I'm against the bike lane, the bike freeway through Kitts Beach. I'm against the paving over of Vanier Park that Bard wants to do, even though as much as I love Bard, to cut down their time. I am not in favor of the new parks that are being built without the use of grass so much, mostly concrete. There's one at 6th and Fur, there's one at 18th and Main. They have these monstrous metal structures on them in concrete. I'm not in favor of bark mulch on the art gallery lawns. I'd like to see the use of grass again. It seems like this park board hates grass. I don't know. I don't want to put that.
Anyway, Jamie Lee Hamilton.
I'm probably going to have a hard time getting up here. I just wanted to stand up to let you two know that you're not the biggest. Thank you everyone for coming out. My name's Jamie Lee Hamilton, and I'd like to acknowledge that we're on Coast Salish territory here tonight, and so I'm running because I have a passion for our parks and recreation system. For the last 2 terms of the Vision administration, I've worked with Ray Tomlin very much as watchdogs. Ray's here tonight, and we should give him a hand too, right? Even though he's not here. And we brought issues forward that we thought really needed to be brought to your attention. I'm deeply concerned about the Americanization of our parks. James referred to it, you know, the Watermark restaurant. We have the Cactus Club down on Beach Avenue that's taken away our beautiful view. Vision, in their term of office, 2 terms, has not created 1 park in this city. There's something wrong when a party claims to be the Green Party, but I believe in Stuart being part of the Green Party, and so I just wanted... Oh, okay, thank you.
Stuart Mackinnon. I spent the first 20 years of my life in Vancouver, and I had a wonderful childhood. Beaches, outdoor pools, parks, and community centers. I went away for 20 years, and 15 years ago I came back and decided that I wanted to give back to my city for everything it had given to me. The first thing I did was I wanted to get involved in people who were dying, and so I worked at May's Place, a hospice on the downtown east side. But the other thing I wanted to get involved with was the natural beauty of Vancouver. And what really got me involved in what I do is I'm an advocate for natural spaces, foreshores, beaches, and parks. was knowing that the space between Kitsilano and Jericho was the last natural foreshore that we had in Vancouver, and I knew that someone very shortly was going to try and do something with that. And so I got involved in parks and public space advocacy to protect that. And sure enough, 12 years later, it took a while, but we had a city government that wanted to pave that over, making Vancouver into this fortress with concrete and asphalt surrounding us. And we had to fight hard to stop that. But that fight's not over, and we have to be vigilant to make sure that that foreshore remains. Time is up, so I'm going to sit down, and I hope you have lots of questions for me a little bit later.
Hello, how you guys doing? I'm Michael Wiebe, running for the Green Party. I'm lucky to be here. I've got my grade 12 teacher who let me graduate so I go to university. I've also got my mom in the audience who was a mentor and started changing parks in this city well before I have. So we had a park near Kits that the ramp was too high, right? It's too steep. She made a couple letters and got it changed. When we were 12 years old, I was basically biking around Stanley Park. We realized at the end of the trail, it wasn't paved and she couldn't get off, so we had to turn around. So then I ended up going to the Parks Board, marking every trail that was handicap accessible and getting it changed on the next map. The reason thank you very much. The reason I'm here today is because I was with the Mount Pleasant Implementation Committee. We were changing the community plan, listening to people in the neighborhood what they wanted in Mount Pleasant, and we got shut down early. Our terms we got shut about 8 months before we were supposed to finish. And what happened was you just saw a disconnect with what the city was saying they wanted to do and listening to us and what actually was happening. Our voices were not heard. It was already made up. So I made that choice then that I wanted to be involved in politics. I currently own a restaurant in 8th and Main. I also run one in Gastown. I'm also the vice president of Mount Pleasant Business Improvement Association, so I've seen the changes that we need in small business in this neighborhood, what we can do with our parks. I was a lifeguard right here at Kits Beach 15 years ago. I'm not that young. 15 years ago, I helped start the Vancouver Lifeguard Association, which helped bring a junior lifeguard program and an appetite for first aid, and to help show people what we could do with this beach, and it was a great job for people to go through university. Thank you very much.
I didn't mention Stuart and Michael, of course, are with the Green Party.
Yes, thank you.
So, and with Cope, we have Cease Wyss.
Wyss.
Sorry, Cease.
Chok mahat, siamansiai, toistanat, quansnas. My traditional name is Toistanat, which in your language, English, means woman that travels by canoe to gather medicines for all people. In my nickname is Cease Wyss, literally. My full name is Cecilia Wyss, and I'm from the Squamish and the Stalo Okameas, the nations of the Stalo people and the Squamish people. I've spent 3 hours right now in a language class, so my head is going in several languages because we're not even touching on just our language. But anyway, I want to say that the reason that I want to be a part of COPE and why I want to be a part of getting on board with parks is that I've been a practicing artist. I've done community engaged projects. I've done public art projects. I have been a single mother growing up throughout the city. I've spent most of my life here, and I've watched a lot of things disappear as a Native person, but specifically I've watched a lot of access to our waterfronts and to our parkways changing. I see a lot of political issues going on within community associations that concern me. I want to be a part of creating an effective change. Through my art practice, as I said, I'm a community engaged artist, and that means that I work with the community to look at issues that affect them and try to make a difference that works for everybody. So that's my hope and dream of being part of this team. And it's an amazing team of very diverse individuals that have a very positive attitude of listening to the people, the citizens. I am a citizen of this land, as well as having an inherent right to many accessibilities that I haven't had and my people haven't had. So I think that it's time to have another voice, an Indigenous voice that brings another perspective of understanding what being marginalized and having no access to the very things that should be very public, which is our parks, our community centers, our neighborhood houses, and yeah, I hope that you check out my ballot on.
I'm Ezra Bloom. I'm running for Park Board with Cope. I'd just like to acknowledge some other Cope candidates who are here besides myself and Cease. We have Mina Wong, who's our mayoral candidate, as well as right behind her Ralph Fratz, who's running for school board. And we have Jennifer O'Keefe, who's one of our council candidates. A little bit about me. I grew up on Salt Spring Island. I got raised by a single mom in a really alternative lifestyle. I think that really informed a lot about what I'm interested in bringing here in terms of direct democracy. My mom taught me that it's everyone's job to try and change the world and make it a better place. And I see a government system where a lot of people are not. It's not in their ability, so they're not allowed to work with their communities to make that world a better place. A lot of people will step up and do that work anyway, but a lot of times the work that they're doing is being not acknowledged and being washed away. So thank you so much. Thanks for having me here this evening.
Romaniuk, I'm a Park Board candidate with Cope. I used to be a commissioner for one term. I've been involved in community activism and preservation of green space for a lot longer than that, dating back to the 1980s when I moved to Vancouver. And I thank you for welcoming me to your neighborhood. I'm sorry to be adding to your parking woes, but I drove here from a fundraiser. It was some distance away, so I had to get from one place to the other. And I brought somebody with me, so I wasn't alone. I'm certainly been following the issues with the bike lane that tried to carve its way through the green space here, and I'll be happy to answer the other questions as they are put to me. Thank you.